Hello and welcome to Pixels and Points. I'm Susie Brown, media buyer planner extraordinaire here at Red Rock, and with me as always is
Matt Nelsen, digital media director here at Red Rock. All right, Susie, we got some streaming news to go over today. Some interesting stuff. The first one I think we're going to talk about is which the first one, I'm surprised. Just gonna say that.
yeah.
The whole Disney Hulu thing, I just never really understood why they're doing what they're doing, why they've done what they've done. Um, so them buying the whole first article is about them buying a larger stake. Are they taking full control now?
Full
They have
control. So basically, they're going to have full control. Disney will over Hulu, and then the partnerships they have with ABC and Fox. And then the big one that I think is the ESPN, which we had talked about in the upfronts when they come on with their everything all in one place ESPN streaming app. So that's what they're paying the $439 million for. But it seems like they've always had a portion of it. And so now they're going for the whole pie.
Part of Hulu. I just never really knew how much they owned of it. I knew they owned a majority stake in it just because all of the content that you get on Hulu is now on Disney. And I'm like, and now that they own 100% of it, what are they going to do with Hulu? I don't understand. It's the same content that you can get on Disney. They've completely destroyed Hulu, and it kind of hurts me a little bit because Hulu was one of the first streaming platforms.
Oh, it was. I used to use Hulu Live for all my TV. I don't pay for it anymore. I go elsewhere now. But yeah, it was great. And I think as soon as they started switching to their ad serving model and their pay model, things kind of went a little down. Things were slower, not as easy to use. Yeah. And obviously what Disney's doing to it isn't helping matters at all.
And I think there was a quote from Bob Iger, who was on this article and talking about this. And like, this is the greatest thing ever. I think there was a quote from him a couple weeks ago saying, or last week even, that was saying that streaming is dead because all of their streaming stuff that they're creating and they're bringing out is not bringing in the audiences. It's not paying for this stuff. I mean, how much they spent on the latest season of Andor. I mean, and the people that are coming in and the money that they're making from it is just not enough. So them taking a bigger stake in Hulu, I think it would have been I don't know what exactly content wise is tied to Hulu specifically and what's tied to Disney.
Right. It seems most is tied to Disney, which is probably what they have been doing for this shift. It makes you think, is Hulu on the way out? But I know they were talking about different ways to kind of access. I think especially globally, other countries, you have to access Hulu first to get Disney, or you can't even access Hulu without going into the Disney app first. So I think it's kind of a workaround, but it'll be interesting.
It's just a strange thing. What does this mean to us in advertising, Susie?
Yep. Well, just like we always say, everything's constantly changing, but it's just another avenue of where we're going to be able to get all these OTT impressions.
I mean, I completely see that. Like, I could see Hulu completely disappearing, at least here in the United States, soon. Like, I don't feel like there's a reason for it. I liked their layout and their navigation a lot better than Disney. Yeah. But Disney is very Disney centric, and Hulu was a different company, and then they were bought out by Disney. So, I mean, but I don't know what Hulu has that's it's specific. Like, the only reason that Fox isn't now called like the Disney, Disney, right, this, that, is because they have a bunch of programming that's Fox, Fox brand and all that stuff.
Fox Sports. Yep. It's the sports. Really, they have a couple Only Murders in the Building, a couple scripted programs, but that can easily fold into, I can say, I think the clear winner, if you put the two apps and the streamers against each other, it's going to be Disney.
Yeah, and advertising wise, when it comes to our world, this doesn't mean a whole lot.
No, we can still, right now we can buy either or both, right? And hopefully soon we can get straight to that ESPN contact if you just content, excuse me, if you just use the ad manager.
Yeah, and if people are buying this, they're usually buying both, or they're buying one specifically. They're trying to target one audience.
Right. And if you layer on different audience, yeah, exactly, different audiences, you're going to run on Disney if you're targeting kids. You're going to run on Hulu if you're targeting a, more mature adult audience.
The only thing I could see as this being an issue is maybe they bought it from, who did they buy it from? Was it
It
Comcast?
looks like
Who was it?
Comcast, but then reading that quote, NBC Universal, which Comcast had some stake in it. So I think that's
So
the
I'm
top
thinking
dog.
that maybe there was, like, they were being a stick in the mud for something that Disney wanted to do with Hulu, and they just weren't able, so they finally decided to buy them out. Which for $400 million, I mean, that's for how much Disney
Not
drops
that
on
it's cheap.
it.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't a bigger number.
So I'm surprised they didn't do that earlier. I wonder what they were getting from and what we're not going to have now on Hulu because they're dropping
Mhm.
out. But
Everything it says closes, yeah, July 24th. So we'll know by the end of the summer where everything plays out.
I don't think for the layperson this is going to have much of a change
Mm-mm.
yet. Like I said, for Christmas, I completely see. I don't know why you keep Hulu around. I don't know why. All right, let's move on to the next article. This is, I mean, it's interesting, but it's just like I don't even know why once they buy it out, why Hulu should even stay around, even though people they like Hulu.
Right. The brand name is there,
Yeah, the brand
but
is great. They're just
when
gonna.
you have two brands,
I feel like they're not utilizing it correctly.
mhm,
But that's been their problem since they first bought it. I thought that they would put all their adult content on Hulu and just make Disney like the
exactly.
Disney
Yeah.
like family and kids. I mean, it doesn't have
Hmm.
to all be kids. You can go up to PG-13, but I'm like, it could be family and kids, and Hulu be the more adult, where it's like only murders in the building and dramas and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But they put everything on Disney, so is what it is. Anyway,
All right. Next article we were talking about basically now two apps merging together. This is a division. So looking at Warner Brothers Discovery, this article came out this week that they are planning to split into two companies. So basically dividing cable and streaming. And the way they kind of lay it out is that it'll be a clear line. We're going to have streaming services and cable, but when you get into it, it's really not. So it looks like they're going to have their streaming and studios department, which will be HBO, HBO Max, Warner Brothers Television, and Warner Brothers Motion Pictures. So kind of the premium, the movies. They're also going to have DC Studios under that umbrella. And then the cable company will be CNN. It'll have TNT Sports. So it'll be kind of true to traditional cable. It'll have Discovery, but they'll also have streaming with Discovery Plus. So their own streamer there as well. And then they had also mentioned in Europe that they will have some control over the air broadcast stations there. So kind of a very different philosophy, right? Now we're thinking about splitting it up and having basically two different companies.
yeah. And what I've heard, Discovery Plus has actually done fairly well streaming wise,
Mhm.
just because they have tons of content and people will subscribe. And Discovery Plus, I don't remember when their last pay raise was, but it's something like it's still like $10 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's cheap and they've got all the kind of what I think of as like the brainless, like set it and forget it shows, which is great for advertising if you've
It's
always
all
got it
TV,
on.
lots of
Mhm.
content. And it never really meshed with like the Warner Brothers Discovery like streaming platform stuff that they're running on. I think they're doing stuff on. They have Max, correct?
Right, right. And that's a whole nother name change. Like we were talking about with the Hulu Disney, it was HBO, then HBO Max, then just Max. And now we're back to HBO
HBO.
Max again.
I want to get back to HBO because I'm sorry, but HBO had
That's the
so much
brand.
more.
Yeah.
That was a much bigger, much more well known, much more established brand than Cinemax was, and then they shortened it to
Right.
Max, and now they're like, I get what they were like. Some slick marketing person was just like, it's going to be Max because you're getting the Max, and I'm like,
Yep.
no, dude,
Yep.
the
Mm-mm.
brand, you're getting rid of the brand identity of HBO that they built over 40
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, to me, HBO is prestige, right? That's like to the
Yeah,
consumer. So I look at it like we're going to have kind of a premium tier and then your regular cable tier,
I mean,
kind of looking at
people
it.
don't
I'm
know
sure they'll
what you're
price
talking
the
about.
same.
I would say like the tier of the content that was on HBO is like the it's a tier like Apple TV is usually people
Exactly, like in the streamers.
higher
Hmm.
quality of stuff, while Discovery Plus is the Pluto kind of stuff. It's
Exactly.
lower tier. I mean, Pluto's a bad example because Pluto's the free streaming service, but it's much more of the everyday reality TV, lower
Right,
budget.
like Bravo or the Game Show Network or something like if you put it in terms of traditional. Hmm.
Yeah, and so, but yeah, they've always kept Disney. I mean, not Disney, Discovery Plus and HBO separate. So I mean, this split up is easy, and it's not going to be messy, and people aren't going to know where to go or anything like that. So I don't know what this means for people on an everyday basis, but
Yep. And
it's
it's
yeah.
as far as the structure of the company, it looks like I was scrolling down. They're going to have same. They're going to set same people still working within the company as CEOs of each division. So shouldn't be a lot of shakeup changes, but I think just
Are they going
probably
to?
for their bottom line, just a way to make more money.
Is TNT on Discovery Plus, or is it its own deal?
I believe it is part of the Discovery Plus net,
I
like
just know that
TNT TBS.
CNN they've been trying to spin off its own thing, and it
Well,
just
yeah, the
keeps
CNN Now and the CNN Go and
CNN Plus, and I'm like, it's
mhm,
failing. So maybe they'll wrap all of this up into Discovery Plus, and it'll be basically like a cable network kind of a thing. They might make something like a Pluto where it'll be
alive.
free to watch,
That's
and
what I was just
that would
thinking. I
be
would definitely do that.
because right now they have like TLC and some Discovery programming on Pluto and Roku and is it Tubi.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I could definitely make Discovery Plus a really competitive streamer in that environment.
yeah, because they could have CNN and TNT Sports on there too if they wanted to. Yeah, I feel like they could do a lot with that, especially if they're their own company and they don't have to figure out how do we fit in the WB and the Warner Brothers and things like that. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah, just wanted to touch on a few of the quick headlines, a roundup of streaming news, and
Yep.
we'll be back next week with another topic. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you.
All right.